Good morning, Lake Point. Not bad, not bad. Thank you. You're still with me. Well, it's been a full summer for Ask and Imagine. I've got 20 people that are going to be behind me here in just a moment that went to Peru, and with God's blessing, all returned safely. In June, we had 91 baptisms. August is going to be an amazing month for outreach in both Muskego and Milwaukee. Before we get to our Peru update, though, I've got a good friend, Sam, who's going to give us a financial update on Ask and Imagine. Sam?
Yeah, thank you. So we are on our 2-year, $2.5 million goal. Our budget as of today should be at $2,150,000. We are currently at $2,121,988. Maybe we can round next time, but that's okay. So all is well there. We are, on pace for that. So as long as we continue on our pledge amounts, we should be good. And if maybe you weren't here when the pledges were sent, that's okay. Just know that any donation during this time goes to the Ask and Imagine. And on a day like today, when we have the people that went to Peru behind us here, it's fun to see exactly what these Ask and Imagine dollars are doing.
Thank you so much. Is it still on? Thank you so much, Sam. Before we get to our Peru update, an amazing update here, I just want to let you folks know that this is made possible by your prayers and by your generosity for Ask and Imagine. And now it is my great honor to introduce to you Annalise Oswald, an amazing young woman and this year's Peru team leader.
All right, good morning, Lake Point. As a reminder, I'm Annalise Oswald, and last week I had the privilege of leading this incredible team to Ayacucho, Peru. So, 8 adults, 12 teens, 20 all in all, making this by far the largest team we have ever sent to Peru. And even more incredible, more than half the team was made up of our youth, traveling to serve the youth of Ayacucho. There really could not be a better picture of our church's mission of the next gen is the now gen than this team behind me. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Lake Point has had a decades-long partnership with Vision Trust, giving us the opportunity to share God's love farther than Southeast Wisconsin. And through your generosity, Lake Point has played a significant role in supporting both the Maranatha Learning Center and Casa Luz Orphanage. So now, hopefully the team has rested and recovered from our incredibly busy week and are ready to share their thoughts, best memories, and lasting impressions with you all. So, Sarah, what is Casa Luz, and can you tell me a little bit about what we did there?
So Casa Luz is an extremely special place that 16 beautiful girls call home. It's not just an orphanage. So that day, we got to clean a lot of windows. We helped in the kitchen. We got to chase a couple 2-year-olds around the playground, which was great. And then we finished the day by doing some tie blankets with all the girls.
And Mia, what did the girls at Casa Luz think about those tie blankets we did with them?
The girls were so excited to create the blankets with their own hands, and it was so special to them that they were able to do it with us, and their smiles said it all.
That is really special. Now, aside from Casa Luz, we also spent a significant amount of time at another program. So, Mom, tell us a little bit about Maranatha, and what is our long-term connection there?
Yeah, so Maranatha Church and Learning Center is basically how we got started in Ayacucho. To me, that's the heart of why we go. 60 kids, most of them sponsored by you guys. A handful of staff just loving on these kids every day, helping them with their education, healthcare, hot meals, helping their families just really get ahead. It really is like the way that we see God's love in action when we go to Ayacucho.
And Cole, what did we do to step up their educational space there at Maranatha?
We made a math center when we went, so we painted a bunch of walls, we bought bookshelves, a bunch of math books, and we really created a space that they could learn and succeed.
And that math center truly turned out incredible. We have some amazing photos that you guys are going to want to see. But we all know that the projects are incredible, but they're really only a portion of why we go. So Blake, can you tell us what was it like just spending time with the kids at Maranatha?
Yeah, right when we got there, it was lots of hugs, lots of laughs, even gave out some autographs for some reason. But it's just cool to see how someone that doesn't speak the same language as you, doesn't even know you, is so excited to see you just because you came to visit them.
So true. And it wasn't just the kids we were able to connect with. So can you talk a little bit about, Melissa, the parents of Maranatha and how we were able to connect with them?
Yeah, midweek we had a parent night, so the kids brought their parents back to church, and we did the same games, activities, and especially the crafts with the parents. They love to do the bead necklaces and things, and you could just really tell the thankful heart that all the parents had that we cared for their kids.
And Pastor Brian, they allowed us to do a really special dedication at the Learning Center. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, no one has more frequent flyer miles to our trips in Peru than the Oswald family with Chris, Annalise, and husband and father Todd, elder of Lake Point, who passed away earlier this year. And this was the first time, like, you walk through the Learning Center, you see the tiles that Todd laid, the ceiling, the tile that Todd left. It was the first time that something happened without Todd, but the legacy that continues. So when the Math Center was done, we were able to dedicate a plaque in honor of him. They were very happy to hang it and remember Todd forever at this Learning Center and what the Oswalds have done.
Yeah. And then, so moving on to later in the week, Emmett, we had the privilege of attending 2 different church services throughout the week, one at Maranatha and a second one later at the week at Emmanuel. Can you talk about what those were like?
Yeah, Maranatha was a lot different from what we're used to. It was the main event was a very long session of singing and clapping, and then we finished with a short sermon from Pastor Brian, and then Emmanuel Church was a lot more like Lake Point. It was just a short session of singing with the band, and then we had a good long sermon where we learned a lot.
And then, Cadence, what did you notice about the prayer life of the folks at Maranatha Church?
At Maranatha, they kind of pray for everything. They pray about the big things, the small things. And it just makes you think about like how we can pray for the small things and the big things. And they also pray for us here in America too. So that was really special to see.
So true. It was definitely a very strong show of faith. And then, Angela, just talk a little bit about how our team was received by the congregation at Maranatha.
So the people in Peru are very passionate, and it was seen by when they would greet us, everybody gave us hugs and couldn't stop hugging us and just love being around us. And even when you're leaving, they just keep hugging you, and they're just so thankful that you're there with them.
It definitely was a really special experience. Another really special thing we were able to do in Peru is visit 3 different homes of children sponsored by the Maranatha program. So Adam, tell us a little bit about what you saw, what you felt as we were visiting real homes of kids we sponsor.
So the home visits were a really clear and present example for us of God's work all over the world, despite the circumstances that people might find themselves in. We were greeted with joy and generosity in what could only be considered the most modest of homes by any measure. But the families were happy to have us. They were very happy to share what limited resources that they did have. And overall, it just kind of reminded me, I think, that it doesn't matter what you have in the world. The kingdom of God is based on, what you're doing with what he's entrusted you with and how faithful your love for others is.
Yes, and those visits really do shape your perspective on that. And they also give you a really clear picture about who these people are and how incredible they are. So, Karen, give me your general people impressions. What did you learn or notice from the people in Peru?
The adults really have a heart for hospitality. So similar to when we visited the home, there was one that they had food out for us, even though they did not have a lot. They were eager to learn and to share their children with us, evidenced by parent night. And the kids, they just were so fun and so loving, and they wanted to learn and be around us. And they just, I don't know, you're going to fall in love with them if you go, because they're just really amazing. And they love to share their English with you, just like our kids like to, and if they learn Spanish, they like to share it. They like to teach what they learn.
Yes, so true. And so later in the week, we got to do something pretty unforgettable with some of those same kids. So Nolan, let's shift gears a little bit. Tell us about the 2-day, 200-teen citywide Bible camp that we got to participate in.
It was incredible. It was all the kids had a great time. We had split up into teams. All the teams were named after a different name for Jesus in the Old Testament, and so we played a bunch of games. There was a talent night. All the kids put on a little skit, and it was a ton of fun. Everyone had a great time.
It really was. And some really incredible moments from camp came during worship. So Leighton, what was it like to worship with the teens of Peru?
Yeah, kind of like what Blake was saying, you can't always understand everything that they're trying to tell you, but through worship, you were able to really connect with them on a personal and spiritual level, deeper than just like hand signals trying to understand what you're supposed to do during the game that day. So it was really cool to be able to connect with them in that deeper way.
Mm-hmm. And those amazing worship services led into one of the most impactful ministry moments, I would say, of the week. And so, Amanda, can you talk a little bit about what that was like?
It was definitely one of the most emotional parts of our week. Not only did the leaders of all of these kids pray for the kids in Peru, but they prayed over our kids. And we were all able to go into the crowd and pray for all of these teens. These teens wept in our arms. They sobbed over our shoulders, and they were so grateful and felt that love no matter what the language barrier was. And we were just taken away by that, and we are just so grateful to be able to have been a part of that night.
Yes, it truly was an experience. And so, Avery, what did God teach you about prayer this week?
I think he taught me that it's really not about what you're saying. It's more just about like having faith that what you're saying is God's listening to you, and it was really shown through the Peruvian kids that they like couldn't understand us, but it just meant so much to them that we were even taking the time to pray with them and pray over them. And that's really what it's about, like just trusting that God's listening.
Yes. So as you can see, this week was busy both physically and spiritually. So Isaac, after these long days at Maranatha and summer camp, tell us a little bit about where we got to rest and recharge.
It was a really nice house. All the people there took really good care of us, took us where we needed to go, gave us all the food, all the stuff that we needed.
Yes, we had some pretty incredible hosts, and we were incredibly well taken care of all week. And that included every single meal. So Cameron, now to the question on the top of everyone's mind, please tell us, what was the food like, and a little bit about the incredible folks who prepared it for us.
The food was delicious. We constantly had fresh food because of the help of Raquel and Tonya, and they would get upset if we didn't have at least 2 meals a day, or at least 2 plates of everything.
Yes. Our hosts truly are incredible. And so as we wrap up, let's look ahead. So Lexi, what would you tell someone who's thinking about joining our next mission trip?
I would tell them that going there is the most rich you'll ever feel, which is pretty ironic, but just serving and receiving God's love in every form there is just the most powerful thing you could experience.
Could not be better said. So, yes. Yes, so a huge thank you to our team behind us. And I hope this interview has given you a glimpse into what God is doing in Peru and what these trips are really all about. And if this sounds like a lot of fun to you, let this be your formal invitation to join our next team. But you do not have to wait until our next trip to make a difference. After service, our team will be in the lobby, and we'd love to talk to you. So come hear more stories, ask questions, and learn how you can support Maranatha Learning Center and Casa Luz through child and program sponsorship, fundraising, and other opportunities to be a part of what God is doing in Ayacucho. Thank you.